In Corinth, they must be performing baptisms for the dead, or somewhere where they know about this happening, and he's using that practice as a proof for resurrection. Else what shall they do which are baptized for the dead? If the dead rise not at all, why are they then baptized for the dead? It's this powerful question of the reason we perform those baptisms is because we have hope on the other side of the veil that there will be a resurrection. He gives them a pretty strong invitation in 34. Awake to righteousness and sin not, for some have not the knowledge of God. I speak this to your shame. But some man will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? You can picture the Greek philosophers sitting on Mars Hill, throwing out these really intellectual questions and philosophizing about, so how is this going to work? And Paul, not mincing words in verse 36, says, thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened except it die. And that which thou sowest not that body that shall be, but bear grain. It may chance of wheat or of some other grain. He's saying, whatever seed you're going to put into the ground, whatever you plant, it has to die and be buried for it to bring forth new life. And whatever seed you plant, that's the kind of fruit or vegetable you're going to produce in the end. And then he qualifies this or clarifies it by saying, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds.
So essentially it's, if you were planted as a human, you'll be resurrected as a human. A dog, a dog. So I know there's a lot of dog lovers out there, but we're not going to be resurrected as dogs or cats or goldfish.
And he says in verse 40, there are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one and the glory of the terrestrial is another. If you look at verse 40a, the footnote, the Joseph Smith translation says, also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial and bodies telestial, but the glory of the celestial one and the terrestrial another and the telestial another. So Joseph Smith is able to add this additional degree of glory based on his understanding that he had received in receiving the vision that we now call Doctrine and Covenants section 76. These various degrees of glory, and he describes verse 41, there is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from another star in glory. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown or planted, the body, the seed for resurrection in the future, is sown in corruption. It's going to break down and decay and die. But it is raised in incorruption.